People are putting together their male R&B Mount Rushmores, and there's a lot of angry people about the ones that I'm seeing. Now, there may be more than just the two I've seen, but these are the two I see circulating. Okay? I will say it one more time. There may be more than these two, but these are the two that I see circulating.
Yeah.
So if there are more, forgive us. Feel free to mention the other ones in the comments, as long as they're not your custom made ones. But R&B Radar says male R&B Mount Rushmore. Do y'all agree? Question mark. Luther Vandross, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, and Babyface.
Okay.
R&B Music Tweets says male R&B Mount Rushmore. Do y'all agree? They ain't put no words. They just got pictures. It's Michael Jackson, Neo, Usher, and Chris Brown. Now, this is the one I saw that people were really angry about. But I'm curious what your thoughts are on both of these. Dash.
I don't want to do this.
You don't want to give your opinion?
No, I just it's not that I don't want to give my opinion. It's just that I don't like this. I don't like this Mount Rushmore thing. Um, I think when it comes to male R&B artists, I think when it comes to R&B period, it's very hard to do this. There's a lot that goes into what these people do or have done. And I think that happens too when we get into the lists, right? Like we make people make these lists, and what is the criteria for Mount Rushmore?
Well, that's where I
Everything?
would like to go. And for that, let's talk about the real Mount Rushmore, which is 4 presidents. It says here on National Park Services, why these 4 presidents? It says Gutson Morglum selected these 4 presidents because, from his perspective, they represented the most important events in the history of the United States. Would another artist at that time, or perhaps a modern artist, choose differently? Question mark. As you read more about Borglum's choices, think about what you might have done if the decision was up to you. I'm not going to read all of this, but I thought that was an important thing to read. So he chose the 4 presidents he felt represented the most important events in the history of the United States. Now, I think the problem with Mount Rushmore's and the conversation of Mount Rushmore's in the last couple of years, because it kind of been going around for like 2-3 years now, different forms of Mount Rushmore's: rap, Def Jam, R&B, male R&B, whatever. I think the problem is we don't have a clear criteria.
Yeah.
Right? When LL Cool J spoke about who would be his Def Jam Mount Rushmore, he was asked why you left out certain people. And he said, the Mount Rushmore of presidents was our forefathers, great people from the past who paved the way. And that's how I feel it should be. And I understood that and respected that because he gave an explanation.
Yeah.
I think when we just throw random people up there and don't give any criteria, it gets tricky to critique.
Yeah.
It gets tricky to debate because I don't know what your criteria is.
And it
Right?
could just be those are your favorite R&B artists. And then at that point there's nothing I can say because my opinion is going to be different from yours because we're not the same person.
Right. And so this is where it gets tricky for me, right? Like, as much as I dislike when people do lists, I appreciate that they show you their criteria.
Sometimes they show you their criteria.
Well, the ones that do, right? They say like, "Hey, this guy, we needed somebody with curly hair. They had to have glasses." And say, "Oh, okay." Then yes, Lenny Kravitz could fit up there. Sometimes his hair is curly and he wears glasses. No problem. Random example. Now, if you're saying curly hair and glasses, now I wouldn't expect certain people to be up there, right? So we don't know what the criteria is. So really what's coming down to is exactly what you just said, preferences. And we can argue about preferences until we turn blue in the face.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what to say about these Mount Rushmores. I would like to know what are people's criteria. And if we were going to set a criteria and go by that, then I think we could have a legit conversation. But if you're just going to choose your 4 favorite R&B acts, then I mean, what can I say about your 4 favorite R&B acts? Like, okay.
Right. That's why I'm like, I don't, because these are crossing different eras. These are crossing, some of them are crossing genres. Like it just, to me, it just feels like at that point, then I don't know how to pick something like that, and I don't feel comfortable doing so. You know me, normally I'm down to critique however the list goes, but I just felt like with this one, it just, to me, when you look at the people that were selected, to me it doesn't look like there was a rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah.
And that's what I have a problem with.
Yeah.
Because it really looks like people just chose artists that were similar.
Mm-hmm.
And those were their 4. And
Yeah.
that could just mean that you like that style of R&B.
Right.
And to me, that's not enough.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of R&B to sort through, to weed through. Sure, there's top people in the genre, but who have come and gone and who are still around.
Right.
But that's why I don't like these comparisons, because
Sorry. I remember you put me onto a funny Mount Rushmore a couple months back, the mulatto Mount Rushmore.
oh right,
That just came to mind.
yeah. Oof, yeah, that was anyway, that was another podcast. But anyway, so
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's funny.
So, yeah, I really don't want to weigh in on this. What I will say is, I don't know that you get to put Michael Jackson. I'll just speak to this one. I'm not going to speak to the other one. I don't know that you get to put Michael Jackson, Usher, and Chris Brown on Mount Rushmore together.
It's the same family tree.
Yeah, I don't, and that's why I don't think it makes sense. Because if we're calling it Mount Rushmore specifically, then I don't think you get to do that.
Yeah, it's a family tree. That one is kind of like a family tree. Michael Jackson, Neo, Usher, and Chris Brown. It's like Michael Jackson and his kids.
Right. And I'm sorry I didn't mention Neo, but Neo as well. But yes, that is exactly what it's like. And if that is the case, if it's Michael Jackson and his sons, then his sons have to go, and he's at the top of Mount Rushmore.
Right.
That's just like, that just makes sense. That's logical. So that's why I don't like this. Because who came up with that 4? That seems like a lazy 4, to be honest. Like, you didn't really think about it. You just said, "Oh, I like this one, and that one," and didn't really think about how impactful or influential.
What they thought about
are.
was talking points. They thought about people are going to react to this and have strong feelings.
Yeah, definitely.
So